Welcome back to Hoochos. It's cooking here today. It's about 33 degrees Celsius and I even put sunscreen on before filming this because otherwise I'd be cooked, and on my feet as well because you don't want a thong tan. And as you can see, I've given some sun protection to my seedlings in the NFT as well. I don't expect it to save them all, but hopefully I'll get most of them through the early stages and then they'll be right from there. I've got a few failures to share with you today, or mistakes that you can learn from, and I've got a heap of success as well. So let's start with the failures. So this is the cheap and easy flood and drain hydroponic system. As you can see, I've had a heap of pests gnawing at the corn that I've been growing in this, and the pickling cucumbers, well, before they succumbed to disease, actually were getting destroyed by the local Antechinus population, which were just eating off all of the fresh shoots, and they just withered and died. Now, the combination of the pests, the Antechinus and the reservoir, I never got around to putting a float valve in it, but that didn't really matter because the amount of light that got in the reservoir just caused a giant algal bloom. And even though the plants are able to, persist in that nutrient solution, even with the algae there, it definitely would have stripped out some nutrients and caused pH problems within the system. So if I were to create this system again, I would definitely make sure that I've got light protection on the sides of the system. As you can see, the corn's actually done pretty well despite the pests. Let's have a look. There's some corn there. I don't know, I've never grown corn before. Is that good? It doesn't look good. That's better. Look at that. Yeah, I can cook and eat that. This is its bogan relative with less teeth. So this is the chicken fodder system, and it's in a bit of a sorry state. The problem I'm having is that the moment the grass shoots up, the chickens are just cropping it straight off and not giving it a chance to grow, and I knew that would be a problem. I just thought that the grass would grow more vigorously. This system needs a rest. I've put it in the middle of the pen, which makes it really hard for me to just cordon it off to let the chickens in. If I'd put it to the side of the pen, I could have had a small gate and wire fence around it to keep them off it for a while it grew back, and then allow them to come back in and graze. Now another thing with this system, I did a bit of research after I'd built it, which I should have done before, Per chicken, you really need, if you're only going to feed them grass, 13 square meters. Now, it was really hard to find that information, and I'm not sure what research the page did that I found it on. Take that with a grain of salt, but I would say that it would be, you know, at least 13 square meters per chicken to keep them alive just off grazing. And this is 2 square meters per 8 chickens. So it's supplementary, but how much it's supplementing, whether it's worth the cost, probably not. It was a really good experiment, and I'm glad I made it because it proves that the idea works. It's just whether it's scalable and whether it's cost effective, and I don't think it's cost effective. And the final failure was a mistake that I made. As you can see, the pumpkins are gone. The pumpkins are gone because I went away to the Gold Coast and I refilled the res before I went away to the Gold Coast. But when I was refilling the res and mixing the nutrients, I had the ball valve turned off, and after I mixed the nutrients, I forgot to turn it back on. So I came home to this. I quickly turned it back on, and I was hoping that the pumpkins would come back to life, but alas, no. So I removed the pumpkins from the system. I got 2 pumpkins off it, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I filled the system up with some other stuff. So everything's looking a bit sad at the moment, but luckily I took some B-roll earlier in the day when it wasn't looking so sad, because it is, again, I reiterate, my camera is overheating in this heat. So over here, we've got our fruit trees, which are actually starting to fruit. They flowered just recently. They're now fruiting, and they've sent out a ton of fresh tip growth. There is so much of it. It's on the citrus, it's on the macadamias. I mean, I'm really happy with how this system is handling the citrus and how the moisture sensing self-watering system is handling those macadamias. Over here, I've got some turmeric, which is a root vegetable, and it's growing absolutely fine in this cocoa perlite mix. I've got some dill at the front there and some lettuce. That lettuce was actually bought from a nursery, and I just planted it straight into the cocoa perlite. These are the ones I've been super excited to share with you though. These are the hydroponic carrots. I've pulled one out already. It's on my Instagram. If you'd like to follow, just have a look in the description of every video, and there's a link to my Instagram, and you get pre-update updates, I guess. So let's go ahead and pick some carrots and we'll see what we've got. Look at that one. The first one was the best one. Not bad. I'm gonna leave the rest. I reckon we can get them bigger. Well, there you go. Hydroponic carrots. Root vegetables in hydroponics can be done. Last, but certainly not least, these are the hydroponic cucumbers that I grew in the auto-refilling, wicking dog bowl systems. You can also see the passion fruit, which is also going nuts in the background, and all fed from that white reservoir at the end there. They're looking a bit sad at the moment because it's so bloody hot, but you can see that there's a ton of fruit hanging off them. I'll just grab a basket and we'll grab some. Oh, there's 4 big ones in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at those. Look at that haul. And they're beautiful, healthy cucumbers. Oh, I'm really happy with that. I'm even happy with the carrots and the corn. They're unique. All right, well, thanks for watching today on Hoochos. I've got some cucumbers to eat, I guess. I'll see you next time. Happy hydroponicking.